the best in your sport is an aspiration of any athlete competing as an individual. Today, college gymnasts from around the country have assembled on the University of Oklahoma campus in the hopes of being the best in their sport. Those who succeed will be called national champion. Everyone, and welcome to another edition of Gymnastics USA. I'm Shannon Miller. Tonight, we take you to Norman, Oklahoma for the NCAA Men's Gymnastics Individual Event Championships. Each of the 6 exercises in men's gymnastics will have a champion. To qualify, each gymnast had to finish in the top 10 during the team competition. This year's favorites to win on a few events is Oklahoma's Jonathan Horton. In the team championships, Horton took the all-around title and finished first on the rings and the high bar. Jonathan is also our inside story for today's show. Another favorite to champion on a few events is Justin Spring from Illinois. Justin finished first on the floor and parallel bars in the team competition. Also on our show, we'll run down some vaulting tips in our Essential Gymnastics segment. The competition is about to start, so let's go to the University of Oklahoma for today's event.
Thank you, Shannon, and welcome to the Lloyd Noble Center on the campus of the University of Oklahoma, the site of the 2006 NCAA Men's Individual Event Championships. I'm Greg Murphy alongside Peter Corman as we take a look at the list of events for tonight's competition. In order, we will start on the floor and head to the pommel horse, the rings, the vault, parallel bars, and horizontal bars. And Peter, to win any of these events means you are a national champion.
That's right, Greg, and this is going to be a real test. This is the best of the best. All the gymnasts in the country have competed for this one chance, and we are going to be looking at the very top, the elite.
And speaking of elite, we'll start with Wesley Hagenson from the University of Illinois, starting on the floor. He's a sophomore from Belleville, Illinois.
Wesley's had a great year. He was second in the all-around at the Big Ten Championships, doing a really good routine. Little trouble there, just a little control problem, but a really, really great first pass.
High score on the floor this year, a 9.3 for Wesley. Says he wants to go to law school when this is all said and done.
Illinois really had a great year, Greg. They worked hard to get to this point where all their guys gelled at the right time. They struggled through the Big Ten with some injuries. And in the national championship this weekend, in the team competition, which was earlier, they finished second, which was a great accomplishment.
Solid finish for Illinois. As we watch the 5'5", 130-pound Wesley Hagenson on the floor.
He's getting ready for his final tumbling passes. A really good routine so far, nice and clean. His dismount, double twisting, back flips, stuck real good. Few little bobbles in the routine, but overall very solid.
Take another look.
This is his first tumbling pass, and you'll see a lot of this today. Combinations of forward and backward tumbling, and that adds to the difficulty of the routine. If you can make those skill bound and repeat again, it raises the value of the exercise. So that really is the key to floor exercise these days.
So athletic on the floor. Wesley Hagenson, a 9.4 from the judges to get things started here. And now a real treat, Justin Spring from Illinois. If you follow men's gymnastics, you know Justin Spring.
Yeah, Justin's clearly one of the best gymnasts in the United States and one of the best in the world, a former world competitor.
He won the event in 2005, national champ.
And that was a really exciting first pass. Double twisting, double back somersault. Did it really well. You know, I like Justin's style, and when you watch his gymnastics, and even in practice, he has such a good work ethic and an ability to do a high number of skills each turn. And that's rare at this level of difficulty in today's gymnastics. So he's Very hard worker, very talented, and really is one of the guys USA Gymnastics looks for to do well in the next Olympics.
He's a member of the U.S. national team and world championship teams, and most likely a future Olympian.
Well, this is really a glimpse of the future because it is just packed with difficulty. Every pass is difficult. There's no easy spots. A little trouble on the dismount. He stuck it, but it wasn't performed perfect. But man, what a routine with a lot of difficulty. Look at all the twisting, multiple, and landing 1.5 flips, landing hands first. Very difficult.
And that is why he is one of the best in the world. The judges say 9.462 for Justin Spring. Terrific routine for the Fighting Illini. We move along to Jonathan Horton, another one of the best in the nation. Jonathan Horton from the University of Oklahoma.
And he is having quite a weekend. His team, the University of Oklahoma, won the team competition in the preliminary rounds here, and Jonathan also won the all-around. So he's the 2006 all-around gymnastics champion. So now looking for his third title of the weekend.
And you would think that he'd maybe be a senior or a junior, but no, just another one of those super sophomores for the University of Oklahoma. A 5-time All-American as a freshman was Jonathan Horton.
Yeah, Jonathan's very talented. If you were to list all of the things you need to be a good gymnast, he's got them. He's very determined. He's a very hard worker. He's really smart about the way he prepares. And he has a perfect body. You know, he's not too tall. He's got really good strength, as you'll see later on the rings. And he's got that ability, like right there. That was not a perfect pass, but he made it. He thought through it and stuck that anyway, so he minimized the deduction. That's a special quality, very hard to coach.
So much physical strength needed for this sport, but mental strength as well. Competing in front of the judges, trying to be perfect every time out.
Wow, that was a great routine. He is an incredible athlete.
Take another look. Jonathan Horton, his final pass.
It's a double twisting, double back somersault, really difficult. One of the most difficult dismounts in the world at any level. And he did that really well.
And the home crowd likes it, and they should. A 9.575 for Jonathan Horton, the sophomore from the University of Oklahoma. And that brings on Sho Nakamori from Stanford, representing the Cardinal. Another sophomore. He's from Albany, California.
And Sho's a very stylish gymnast. A really good tumbling pass. Tiny hop on the third flip of that series, but overall very good.
You could say that gymnastics is in Sho's blood. Both his parents were gymnasts. His father actually competed on the Japanese national team.
And his father was his coach. Really nice combination there. Flares up and down.
Wow.
Raising to the value of it.
Sho Nakamori, the sophomore from Stanford. Cardinal finished third in the team competition last night.
Yeah, Greg, Stanford's really done a good job. They have a new coach, Tom Galini, does a great job, and their program's really had a lot of new kids come in. And, you know, you look at the next few years, and you got to pick them as one of the favorites.
And certainly Sho Nakamori will be part of that, just in his second season with the Cardinals as he finishes up on the floor. Take another look, and you called these the flares.
They are the flares, and the Thomas flares, but he goes up to a handstand, turns, back down, and very good, as good as anyone can do with the extension and the rhythm, and it makes that routine really exciting.
And we'll see if the judges liked it as well. They did. Sho Nakamori, a 9.5 on the floor. And he'll have to be pleased with that as we take a look at the final results. Jonathan Horton is your national champion on the floor from Oklahoma with a 9.575. followed by Sho Nakamori. Justin Spring comes in third, Reed Pitts and Wesley Hagerson 4 and 5. Coming up, stay with us when we come back. This is what they're all working towards. A national championship. The Pommel Horse is next. Stay with us here on CN8. And welcome back to the Lloyd Noble Center in Norman, Oklahoma for the 2006 Men's Individual Event Championships as we get set for the Pommel Horse. Our first competitor, Curtis Clefman from the University of Iowa, another sophomore.
And Curtis has had a great year on Pommel Horse. He's ranked 4th in the country coming into the competition. And this, in many ways, is the toughest of all the men's events because of the balance factor.
They make it look so easy, but not at all. Clefman, a pre-business major for the Hawkeyes.
Routine's a little rough. You can see his legs separating. Legs should stay together the whole time, and the rhythm should be perfect, but he fought his way through very well.
Here are the encouragement from the crowd.
Little leg separations, but he's doing a good job hanging in there. Overall, not bad, but, you know, as you're sitting there as a judge with your pencil sharpened, you can find a lot of little tents there.
They have the best seat in the house through the judges, you see right there, as they watch Curtis one more time.
And he's traveling forward and backward the length of the horse. And Pommel Horse is extra hard this year, Greg, because unlike past years, you can't add difficulty together to raise your score. Everything's based on single skill, so it makes the routines very difficult.
And Curtis with an 8.962 as we look at Ted Brown from the University of Illinois, a senior from Westfield, New Jersey.
Ted, it's actually amazing. Ted was a great gymnast as a junior, and then in his sophomore year in high school, he started getting nosebleeds and went to the doctor and found out he had a very huge tumor in his brain, right behind his right eye, but it took 7 surgeries, one of them lasting 12 hours. And when he got done, the doctor said, you can't do gymnastics anymore, you can't go upside down. So he became a Pommel Horse specialist, and here he is. And wow, that was a great routine.
An amazing story as he competes for a national championship after all of that. Ted Brown, as we take another look.
And Ted had to take 3 years off with that injury, but he's back now as a senior, one of the leaders of the team, and Coach Hayasaki couldn't speak any greater of him and what he's been through. And wow, to hit his routine and lead Illinois to their 2nd place finish, what a great year.
9.312 for Ted Brown on the Pommel Horse. Derek Helsby up next from Penn State. The Nittany Lion from Orlando, Florida is a sophomore.
And Derek was 4th in the Big Ten championships on Pommel Horse. Very good technique, good extension right there. You can see his handwork, his balance on one pommel, very critical, perfect form.
Specializes on the Pommel Horse and the rings, does Helsby.
Wow, this looks great. Just keep it together.
So much precision needed. Look at that.
That was a good routine. A lot of difficulty, a couple little leg splits and a little lack of rhythm and amplitude at certain points, but overall very nice. There his multiple Russian work on the end.
And Helsby likes it, and he should. 9.2, say the judges, for Derek Helsby of Penn State. That brings on Timothy McNeil, the sophomore from California.
And if there was a favorite, Greg, it would have to be Timothy. He was ranked #1 in the country this year on the Pommel Horse, and he won the Mountain Pacific Championships coming into this event. So for him, it's a matter of keep it together and don't make any mistakes.
The sophomore from Falls Church, Virginia. California finished 5th in the team event. McNeil, of course, qualifying here for the Pommel Horse. To qualify, you have to be one of the top 10 in your event.
This is a great routine. Dismount, ready, handstand, twist.
Wow.
Nice job.
The crowd likes it. Looks like Timothy likes it. As we take one more look, Timothy McNeil.
And this is the finish of that routine. Really fast, powerful, Came off nice. That's the last thing the judges see. It's important to do that well.
And a 9.350 from Timothy McNeil of California on the pommel horse. As we take a look at the final results, and he is your national champion with that 9.350. Ted Brown from Illinois finishes in second with a 9.312, followed by Derek Helsby, Curtis Clefman, and Chris Lung from Illinois. But Timothy McNeil, the 2006 national champion on the pommel horse. Coming up, our inside story on Jonathan Horton, already a national champ here tonight and the all-around winner from a night before. Stay with us here on CN8.
Jonathan Horton has won 2 team national championships with Oklahoma, and he's only a sophomore. We talked to him back on March 4th after he won the American Cup in Philadelphia about his international gymnastics career and Oklahoma's chances of repeating as national champions. This segment was edited before the national championships. Listen to how close Jonathan came to fulfilling his goals. Being one of the most highly touted gymnasts on the U.S. men's national team and also a returning top performer for the defending collegiate national champions definitely has its advantages. But it can also add up to almost non-stop competing, and that can be taxing on a gymnast.
Well, we've had to pace Jonathan Horton just because the number of meets will add up. So I've had to have him do less than the all-around a few times for the college season just to save his legs, the wear and tear kind of factor. We have to be real careful not to have too many overuse type things going on.
You get so many different repetitions of your routines. You do them over and over and over again, and you get so confident with it. You come to a meet, and it's just like you can turn off your brain, stop thinking about what you're doing, and just let your body go. And, you know, I tell people I don't like to think about gymnastics when I'm doing it. I just jump up there and just let it happen. And NCAA competition really helps with that.
As a freshman, Horton helped Oklahoma clinch the NCAA team title in 2005 with a career-high 9.5 vault score. Now, as a sophomore, Horton is one of the veterans on a young Sooner roster, hoping to repeat last season's championship run.
It's a different group of guys, a different chemistry, so I don't know that there's going to be complacency because a lot of them just have never been to the NCAA championship before. So for them, it's all new, and you know, having Jonathan Horton, who's kind of our anchor to the team, he knows what he's doing. He did well last year. He understands the whole process.
We had a great recruiting class. We have 7 new freshmen, and those guys are as talented as can be. And I think we've got a great shot at winning nationals again, and I'm looking forward to that meet.
Last year, he was 3rd in the all-around at the NCAAs and was All-American in 4 events. This year, his goal is to win an individual title as well as another team crown, and he certainly has the tools to do it.
I'd like to be a national champion on maybe rings. That's one of my best events right now, floor, maybe even high bar. But definitely the all-around is one thing that I'm looking for to maybe get higher than 3rd place, maybe even win this year.
High bar is a pretty dynamic event for him. He's kind of known for the number of releases he does, but he's actually really strong on rings. You know, and he doesn't have that week of any event where he's that poor. So as an all-arounder, he's kind of an anomaly. He's really pretty good on everything.
And being as good as he is at everything he does may just lead him to Beijing in 2008.
You know, in 2008, I'll still be in college, and I'd like to make some world teams, and I'd like to make the Olympic team in 2008. That's my ultimate goal, and I've always wanted to do that. Maybe come home with an Olympic gold one day.
As you know by now, most of Jonathan's goals were fulfilled this season. Will the Sooners three-peat next season? Only time will tell. Let's go back to Greg and Peter for more of the NCAA individual championships.
All right, well, thank you, Shannon. And you can bet, Peter, that we have not seen the last of Jonathan Horton, both on the collegiate level and on the national level as well, the international level as well.
Absolutely. He's got a bright future. And imagine still only being a sophomore. That's amazing.
It is amazing. All right, as we begin our 3rd event of the evening, it is the rings. This is Tommy Ramos from Penn State, just a sophomore for the Nittany Lions.
And this has always been a strong event for Penn State. Their coach, Randy Jepson, was himself one of the best ring performers in the NCAA.
Learning from one of the best, always a good idea. Tommy Ramos won the Big Ten championship in this event.
Wow, great strength moves put together. Pound for pound, Greg, I think that men on the still rings probably are the strongest athletes, even stronger than weightlifters.
I wouldn't argue with you, and I wouldn't argue with Tommy Ramos at this point either. He is certainly showing us that.
It's a good routine. A little wobbly in a handstand, but the strength elements were perfect.
How important is it to keep the ring still? Is that a key element?
It is a key element because every time they swing, you can get a deduction. So it's important to keep them still, and it's important to perform with precision so that it actually looks easy. But I can tell you from doing it and coaching it for a long time, it's not that easy.
Well, that doesn't look easy to me either. Tommy Ramos finishing up his routine. A solid routine it was. And here he is, Jonathan Horton from Oklahoma, the sophomore from Houston, Texas. There you see the 2006 NCAA all-around champion already. He also won the floor exercise earlier tonight. Now on the rings.
And his team won also, so you would have to say he's the man right now.
He's having a good weekend. He has his eyes set on the 2008 Olympics in Beijing, China.
And Jonathan is one of the most talented gymnasts the United States has. Certainly, if you would look at 2008 and saying he's got to be there, barring injury and keeping the work hard.
His coach says that he has a chance to be the best that Oklahoma has ever seen, which is saying something since a man named Bart Connor went to school there.
Absolutely.
His dismount, and he nails it.
Wow, that was great. That is a perfect example of a great ring routine in that it combines the strength and the swing, then done with a beautiful dismount like that. So when you write the code of points and the rules, and then you look at Jonathan Horton, you say that's what it's supposed to be like.
And the judges like it as well. 9.637 for Jonathan Horton. And we look at Alex Skorsh, the junior from Stanford. Excuse me, Peter, go ahead.
All these guys are really strong, Greg. You know, this is the event. You've got to have the big muscles. You've got to have the small body to be able to push it around. And look at that. That is so difficult to go from a planche to a Maltese, then back to another Maltese, and push up to a planche. That's unbelievable.
The strength in the shoulders and the chest and the arms. We have to remember these guys are scholar athletes as well. A four-time academic All-American was Alex in high school. Stanford, a good place to be.
This is a great routine so far. Really good positions. Looking for a stick. Oh, that step, that might hurt in this competition because everyone on the rings is great.
Take another look, and you see just a little step back on the dismount there.
A little too much rotation, but the rest of that routine was really gorgeous.
9.575 for Alex Skorsh. Brings on David Sender, also from Stanford. Sophomore.
Beautiful position. Get back to another planche. On rings now, if you combined the strength elements in a certain combination, it will actually help you get a higher start score to your routine. So that's the key. But you still have to be able to swing well. You have to be able to hit those handstands with precision and without moving the rings.
Sender, our third straight Stanford Cardinal in the rings routine, and he hits the land.
He stuck his landing. He had a little bit of trouble on some of his handstands as well. It wasn't his best performance from start to finish, but he really stuck that dismount.
9.412 for David Sender, the sophomore from Stanford, as we take a look at the final results. And once again, Jonathan Horton is up top. 9.637 for the sophomore from Oklahoma. Alex Skorsh from Stanford finishes second, followed by his teammate Peter Durman in third. Tommy Ramos and David Sender are 4 and 5. Jonathan Horton, a national champion once again, this time on the rings. Coming up, We check back in with Shannon Miller and Essential Gymnastics. She's going to give us some vaulting tips. So stay with us right here on CN8.
Welcome back to another edition of Essential Gymnastics. Today, we're going to take a look at all the things the judges are looking for on vault for both the men and the women. Today, I have with me Paige from Parkettes Gymnastics in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Paige is going to help demonstrate what the judges are looking for on vault. Now, the men and the women are both now using the vaulting table to compete. And the judges for both are looking for a strong block off the horse, creating height and distance. Now, if you're watching two gymnasts compete and they're both doing a pretty good vault, the one that has the most power should score the best. You ready to go? I'm ready. Paige is going to perform two very basic vaults. We're looking for the difference in power from the first vault to the second. Now watch for more height and distance in this second vault. So the judges on vault are looking for power and, of course, form in the air and a solid landing. Join us again next week for another Essential Gymnastics tip. Right now, let's get back to the show.
Thank you, Shannon, and welcome back to the campus of the University of Oklahoma. Greg Murphy alongside Peter Corman. Some good advice by Shannon on just how you have to master the vault, and these guys, Peter, going to take that to heart as we get set for the vault championships. First up, Reed Pitts from Oklahoma. Saw him earlier on the floor. Just a freshman.
Wow, that was good. Oh, great first vault. That was great. Great vault to see. Did all the things Shannon was talking about, the power, and watch the push right there.
Yeah, wow.
He just rebounds off that horse like it was made of air.
And he nails it, and he loves it. 9.475 for Reed Pitts from Oklahoma. The hometown crowd is liking it as well. As we bring in Dylan Carney, the junior from Stanford.
Wow, another great vault. You can see a little bit on the line. You're supposed to land between those lines, right in the center. A perfect form in the air, good explosion, and look at the height and distance, the distance away from the horse. That makes the vault look very powerful, and that's what the judges want to see.
9.375 say the judges for Dylan Carney, one of 6 Cardinals to advance to this individual championship. David Sender, his teammate, another one. We saw Sender a little bit earlier on the rings.
Nice vault. 2.5 twist and stuck. That's extremely difficult because the gymnast doesn't get to see the ground as he's landing. Watch this now. 1, 2.5.
Wow.
Wow, puts that right in the center of the zone. Little tiny foot movement for balance, but that was extremely good.
And he's rewarded with a 9.562 for David Sender. And here is Justin Spring, the senior from Illinois.
And Justin's a great vaulter. Very powerful, very dynamic. You know, it all comes down here, Greg, to the power and the execution, but also the landing. Very important in the finals. Wow, real good. A little under-rotated. You can see him step back.
Take another look. Just a little bit of a wobble there at the end in the step.
Yeah, those are 2 great vaults, I'll tell you. Back-to-back, really exciting.
9.462 for Justin Spring. And Jimmy Wickman from Ohio State, a sophomore from Gulfport, Mississippi, is next up.
This is a really tight competition. All these scores are grouped really close together, so what you're looking for here is not to make any mistake at all. Even a tiny mistake can drop you out of it. Big step and a little bit to the side. Great vault, very powerful, really good technique. Look at his form in the air. But, you know, those steps are becoming very important because it's a little one or a medium-sized one might put you from first to third.
And there you have it. David Sender gets the national championship by a slim margin, 9.562 for the Stanford Cardinal. Jimmy Wickman in Ohio State, 9.487 is second. Reed Pitts. Justin Spring from Illinois finishes fourth, 9.462 for Justin Spring. Coming up, the parallel bars. We will have more on the men's individual event championships coming up here on CN8. Stay with us from Norman, Oklahoma. Welcome back to the Lloyd Noble Center, the site of the 2006 Men's Individual Event Championships in men's gymnastics. Greg Murphy alongside Peter Corman as we get set for the parallel bars. And we get set to watch Justin Spring at a score of 9.675 during the team championships a night ago. That was the top score, competing for the Fighting Illini of Illinois. It's Justin Spring.
And this is amazing. Maybe Justin's best event. He finished 12th in the world at the World Championships on this event. He's ranked #1 in the country, and he won the Big Ten. Really difficult routine, and he can even do more difficulty. This routine's easy for him.
Wow, look at that. Spring won the 2006 Neeson Emery Award for the nation's outstanding senior gymnast. Certainly a prestigious award for him.
Yeah, gymnastics equivalent to the Heisman Trophy. Wow, that was an awesome routine. That was awesome. Packed with difficulty, one skill to the next, perfect handstands. Look at this dismount, opens up, bang.
Setting the bar high is Justin Spring with that routine. 9.825 for Justin Spring. Adam Pummer, another of the Fighting Illini, the senior from Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Illinois has an awesome parallel bar routine, the parallel bar team. In the team competition earlier this weekend, they were second by 0.5 of a point. They almost pulled it off, beating Oklahoma. And had they done that, it would have been primarily due to the parallel bars, because they actually qualified the top 3 guys of all the teams. 1, 2, and 3 came from Illinois, so that's amazing.
We've already seen Justin Spring, and this is his teammate Adam Pummer, and another terrific routine. Let's take one more look. Adam Pummer.
Illinois' coach Yoshi Hayasaki, he was great on the parallel bars himself. 35 years ago, 1971, he finished second on this event at the NCAA Championships, went on the next rotation, and won the high bar.
There you go. Adam Pummer has finished. Jonathan Horton steps up next for the parallel bars from Oklahoma. He's already won 2 tonight, 2 national championships. Looking for his 3rd.
And Jonathan is great on every event, including parallel bars, but he's got a stiff mark to beat. Justin Spring really went out and did a great routine, so everyone's looking at that and saying, we got to catch this guy in the clubhouse.
Setting the bar high was Justin Spring. Horton, with his 2 wins tonight, tied Bart Connor's school record for 3 national championships. And remember, he is just a sophomore.
Really good routine. Very solid. Looking for a stick. Coming up for the dismount now. Oh, big step forward. Too bad. That was a great routine, but that's going to hurt his core.
Take one more look at Jonathan Horton, and there you see it. Yeah, big step forward.
And Jonathan might be getting a little tired. He's done a lot of routines.
We'll cut up some slack. 9.087 for Jonathan Horton from the Oklahoma Sooners, and this brings up another Illini, Wesley Hagenson, on the parallel bars.
Unbelievable. A 3rd Illinois gymnast on the parallel bars. That is very unusual to have 3 guys in the top of the country come from the same team.
He's an accounting major, sophomore from Belleville, Illinois.
Well, I like those consecutive giants. Right into the double back. Really good.
Hagenson hoping a Fighting Illini clean sweep maybe on the parallel bars. I already have the top 2 scores.
Oh, Another big step. Couple little bobbles in that routine, but boy, there's a lot of difficulty there. Just opened up a little bit too early on that and made his landing come up short.
So Wesley Hagenson, a 9.162 on the parallel bars for Wesley Hagenson. Take a look, though. It was a clean sweep, Peter, just as you predicted. Justin Spring, 9.825. He is your national champion on the parallel bars, followed by his two teammates, Adam Pummer and Wesley Hagenson, 2 and 3. Jonathan Horton finishes in 4th from Oklahoma. But Justin Spring, a national champion. When we come back, one more event. It is the horizontal high bar coming up. More men's gymnastics, so stay with us right here on CN8. And welcome back to Norman, Oklahoma, as we wind down the 2006 NCAA Men's Individual Event Championships. Greg Murphy alongside Peter Corman with you, bringing you the final event of the evening. It is the high bar, and first up is Colin Christ from California.
And this is the most exciting of all the men's events because of the release skills and the speed. So high bar is kind of a wild ride. You basically want to be in control, but almost out of control. That tends to make those judges kind of wake up and give you the score.
Right on the edge is where you want to be. Colin, who is a freshman All-American on this event.
And his team coached by Barry Weiner, fine gymnastics coach, did a great job at Berkeley and had a very successful season this year.
Wow. The height that they get on that dismount. Take another look.
That was a good routine, very solid. Not a lot of difficulty, but he did it very well. Stuck his landing nice.
It's a 9.387 for Colin. His teammates congratulate him. Next up, Nate Downs. He's the senior from Stanford.
And Nate was second on high bar at the Mountain Pacific Championships coming into the NCAA tournament. Big release skill, really good, wow. Little trouble coming out of it, that's too bad because he did the actual release skill perfect, just didn't have quite enough swing.
National championship on the line each and every time these guys step up to the apparatus.
You'll see a lot of those turns on high bar. Connecting the values together raises the difficulty of the routine. And Nate is doing that extremely well. Along with that big release for the beginning. A little short of handstands over the top. Needs a good stick here, though. A lot of great guys in this competition.
Building up the speed, and he nails it.
Very good. That's a very hard high bar routine.
Take another look at Nate Downs. The release.
Good lift. Looks for the landing. And finishes a great routine.
9.350 for the senior from Stanford. And here is Jonathan Horton. He had a high score of 9.8 during the team championships on this event.
And this is amazing. He's great on high bar. Going for his 4th individual title.
What a weekend for Jonathan Horton.
Oh, really good laid out Kovacs, way over the bar. Nice. Pro twist and Kovacs. His 3rd release skill, unbelievable.
So high over that bar. You have to remind yourself, this kid just a sophomore.
And this is a really hard dismount. Triple twisting double layout. One of the only guys in the world that can do that dismount. Beautiful Kovacs, way over the bar. Now watch this. 1, 2, 3 twists,
wow.
2 flips. Wow. Unbelievable. That was a great world-class high bar routine.
And the judges like it as well. 9.675. Jonathan Horton is in the lead right now on the horizontal bar. Can he win his 3rd of the night? We will find out when we come back to Norman, Oklahoma. Stay with us. The conclusion of the horizontal bars right here on CN8. Welcome back inside the Lloyd Noble Center as we get set to conclude with the horizontal high bar competition. Greg Murphy and Peter Corman with you. A few more competitors still to go here on the high bar, and this is Dylan Carney from Stanford.
And Jonathan Horton's score of 9.675 is the score to beat, so if anyone's going to do that here, they've got to be almost perfect, Greg.
Dylan Carney trying to be just that.
Great routine so far, really good combinations, finishing everything in a handstand. Big release skill.
Junior from Dartmouth, Massachusetts.
Getting ready now, every 10th counts, so this is important. Bang, put it right in there.
Stuck the landing to Dylan Carney.
In a competition like this, you can't give up anything, and look at him fight for every 10th of a point.
You said 9.675 was the score to beat. Did he do it? Yes, he did. 9.7 for Dylan Carney. Now he has the score to beat. Willie Ito of Ohio State will try to do just that.
And Willie has led the country this year on high bar, ranked first, won the Big Ten. Certainly be one of the favorites to win this event, but he's got two big scores in front of him, so he's going to have to be perfect as well. There is no room for error here.
Willie Ito, a four-time national junior high bar champion, trying to do it now on the collegiate level.
Following the Ohio State tradition of great gymnastics, Coach Miles Avery done a wonderful job this year. They came up a little short at nationals, but they won the Big Ten.
You know a thing or two about Ohio State gymnastics?
A little bit.
Having coached there.
Looking for that stick double-double. Little tiny step, you know. That was a great routine, but in a competition like that, that little tiny step could make the difference.
Just a slight bobble forward there at the end.
Right
Tries
there.
to hold
Oh, man. That was close.
So Willie Ito awaits his score, 9.687. Solid score. And that brings us to Chris Brooks, the freshman from Oklahoma. Says he likes to race his cars when he's at home. Likes a little speed.
And he's got some speed on the high bar. This is the fast event. And it's been a great weekend for Oklahoma. They won the national championship, the title. Of course, Jonathan Horton, all his accolades. This is their last routine of the performance, and their coach, Mark Williams, there he is, done such a good job at Oklahoma. 4 out of 5 years have won the national title. That is a dynasty.
That is a dynasty indeed. Speaking of great weekends, I should mention it was, 30 years ago today, this weekend, that you won the all-around at this competition.
Wow, Greg, you know your gymnastics trivia.
30 years ago today, as we watch Chris Brooks stick the landing, a little bit of a hop there at the end.
A little hop, but, you know, overall a great routine and overall an outstanding weekend for the Sooners from Oklahoma. Coach Mark Williams, their proud program, the Bart Connors and Paul Zertz. Now the Mark Williams and Jonathan Hortons, they are a proud group here.
And they're going to be good for years to come. 9.362 for Chris Brooks, and our final competitor of the evening. And he is a competitor, Justin Spring, from Illinois, the senior, in his final collegiate event. Looking for one more national championship. Already won one earlier tonight, just a few minutes ago. Can he do it again?
Strap on your safety belt. Look at the height on that. Wow, beautiful, way up over the bar. That's what the judges want. To win this event right now, you got to go out and you got to be absolutely perfect, because there's been some great routines.
Well, this kid loves to fly. His father, an astronaut. His father, Woody, was an astronaut. So flying to new heights, nothing new for the Spring family.
He does an awesome routine with a really hard dismount, a triple back. Got to land it good. 1, 2, 3.
Tiny little step there at the end. 9.7 is the score to beat to become a national champion on the high bar. 9.7 as we take one more look at the dismount.
That is going to be close, Greg. That was an awesome routine, but that's a great score to get. It's going to be very close.
And there you have it, 9.7, so Justin Spring does do it. He is a co-national champion on the high bar as he gets congratulations from his teammates. The senior from Illinois needed a 9.7 or better, and he got it to take home a national championship. He will share that with Dylan Carney from Stanford. Both men with a 9.7 on the horizontal bar, so congratulations to them. Willie Ito from Ohio State with a 9.687, just edged out. And Jonathan Horton from Oklahoma finishing up one terrific weekend with a 9.675, finishes in fourth. So let's take a look at our top event finishers on the evening. These guys are your national champions for 2006. On the floor and on the rings, Jonathan Horton from Oklahoma takes home the prize. Timothy McNeil from California wins it on the pommel horse. On the vault, David Sender from Stanford is the national champion. And Justin Springs wins 2 on the parallel bars and the horizontal bars. And on the high bar as well, Dylan Carney from Stanford is a national champion. Let's send it down to the floor and hear from 2 of our 2-time national champions, Jonathan Horton and Justin Spring.
I knew I could walk away with a couple more national championships, first place on, I was hoping rings and definitely floor, and I was actually hoping maybe even on high bar because that's, one of my best events. But, some guys did some awesome routines on that event tonight, so, I got floor and rings, but, I'm happy with what I did.
I think the most exciting thing was Illinois clean sweep top 3 on parallel bars. That was stoked. We've been #1 team in the country on that event, so we knew we could do that. We actually talked about that yesterday. It's like, that'd be sweet if we could do that, and we did. So that was amazing. That was really cool to see.
What a night it was. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. That's going to do it for us. For Peter Corman, I'm Greg Murphy. Good night from Norman, Oklahoma. Let's send it back to the studio and Shannon Miller. Shannon?
Thanks, Greg and Peter, for your coverage of the NCAA individual event competition. What a comeback by Justin Spring in the last 2 events. That concludes our show for today, and don't forget, we'll be back with another edition of Gymnastics USA next week on CN8, the Comcast Network. See you then.